everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carly. This is where I talk about all of the things that I'm working on and my current passions in life. If you've been around here for a little while, you'll know that a majority of it is knitting, and sometimes we have some sewing, some stained glass, and maybe some other things in there as well. It has been a little while since my last video. I had a little unintentional hiatus. Ideally, I would love to do a video once a week, or at least once every 2 weeks, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. I do have chronic migraines, or one migraine that doesn't go away, so sometimes I can't get myself to do it. And the last couple of weeks were just difficult weeks with my migraine, and yeah, so I just didn't feel like I would have a great video if I put it out, and it just didn't feel right to do it and to force myself. So here I am today, feeling like it's the right day to do a video. So I'm very excited to be doing one. I've been wanting to for a long time. I have a lot of fun things to share with you all. I've got some items that I haven't even shown on here at all that are actually finished, and a sewing project too, which I'll show at the end, or at the end of the finished objects. I won't stay too much on the sewing part. And I also have a little flower farm tour that I will put in at the end if any of you are interested in seeing that. So let's just get started because we've got a lot to cover today. All right, let's start with finished objects as usual. I'll start with the finished knitwear, and then I'll end with my one finished sewn item that I have. I'll start with the one item that you've seen briefly on here before, and this is the Batty Tee by Joselotta Knitwear. This was my final test knit, and I dived into test knitting, maybe it was like April-ish. I had always been really, intimidated by test knitting, and then one day I just decided, no, you're going to apply and try some, and then I went overboard and applied to way too many. So I think I've done about like 8 test knits or something like that since April. Got a little bit overwhelmed by it all and decided that this Batty Tee would be my last test knit for at least the foreseeable future. So this is my last one. It's off the needles, it's done, and I've been enjoying casting on other projects and just working on my own things. Anyway, let me show you the Batty Tee. So as you can see, this is a square neck tee with I-cord edging on the arm, or the neck hole, the arms, and the bottom hem as well. This is made up in broken rib, and it is worked from the top down. So you start with your back panel, and then you pick up stitches for your shoulders. Work the shoulders down, cast on for the neck, work a little bit until you join in the round, work the body, and then you pick up for your sleeves. Now this is worked in fingering weight yarn. Joselotta does have a heavier version of this. Maybe it's a DK version, I'm not quite sure. This is the light version of the Batty Tee. Fingering weight yarn, I used Purl Soho linen quill in the colorway Peach Stone. I used just over 1 skein. It was like 1.2 skeins maybe. So I went with the square neck cropped version. There is a scoop neck and a full length version as well that you can do. I found that this was such like a genius construction, or just the way that they did this was just so smart, or something that I've never seen before. But there are some short rows in the shoulders here, and there's also, the whole sleeve is made of short rows to get this nice cap sleeve. I'll throw in some pictures here of myself wearing it. I found that this is probably one of the best fitting knit tees that I've ever made. And now I haven't made too many, but I don't know, it's the way with the sleeve and the short rows and having such little fabric down here. It made it so comfortable, and this is just like the best amount of ease for myself. I did knit size C to give myself a couple inches of positive ease. I just love it. I haven't worn it yet because it's just been really, really hot here, and I feel like it will be more of a fall item, fall winter item, or cooler summer spring days. But I cannot wait to wear it. I think it's gorgeous, just like a really plain tee, but also more than just like your plain white shirt. You know, you've got your broken rib and the I-cord finishing. I'm a huge fan of I-cord finishings now. I just think it makes it so clean, and it's a nice change from having ribbing, which I like doing it, I'm just not always a fan of the look of it sometimes on certain things. So it's really nice. I think I-cord is just such a nice option. And this was also my first time knitting with Purl Soho linen quill. I just had to try it because so many people are in love with it, and the color palette is amazing in my opinion, and I do really love it. There are like bits of, can you see it there, linen, so sometimes it does get a little bit itchy, but I found after wearing it for about 10 minutes or so that I became used to it, and maybe because it's a lower neck that I'm able to wear it, but maybe linen quill with something higher would be more irritable. I'm not sure, but I do really love linen quill, and I do plan on using it for future garments that have a lower neckline, and for shawls and everything as well. And I just realized, as usual, I forgot to tell you what I'm wearing at the beginning of this episode. So this is my Galax tank by Andrea Gaughan Knits. It was a test knit. It's out and released today, or not today. It's now out and live on Ravelry, so you can go and get the pattern if you like. This is mine, again, just wearing with some loose pants. Okay, so back to this. I definitely recommend it. It's not released yet. It should be, I think, in the next week or two, just finalizing some things on the pattern. The test knit is over, so it should be out. I will be posting on my Instagram, which I'll put up here, when this pattern is released. So follow me along there if you want to keep up to date on this pattern here or on any of my knits, because I really am trying to post all of my finished items on there too. Trying to think, I followed this exactly to pattern, except maybe with the cropped version I just did a couple centimeters longer so that I got past my belly button into a point that I could wear it with my high-waisted jeans and pants without exposing any of my stomach. So that was the only mod that I did. A lot of the testers versions are gorgeous and beautiful. I really, really love the look of broken rib. I think it's a nice change, and with broken rib, like every other round is stockinette, so it's nice to when you're working in the round, that is. So it is kind of a nice change to stockinette, and you get a little bit of excitement every second row with a few purl stitches in there. So I found that to be really nice, and it does just give, once this was blocked, it just opened up, and I think the detailing of broken rib is so, so beautiful. I'm so pleased with this. I think it just looks really professional, and I don't think you'd be able to tell that it was a homemade item. Not that there's anything wrong with that either. I love the look of homemade items, but this one just gives such a clean look. So this was also my first time knitting any of Joselotta knitwear patterns. I found it to be really, really clear, and I want to knit more of their patterns in the future. So that's pretty much all I have to say about the Batty Tee. Just definitely keep your eye open for the release of that if you're interested. It is a great pattern. It's a great fit. I know that I'll be wearing it tons when the cooler weather comes in, and I can't wait for that. Okay, my next oh yes. So these are 2 items that I have not even shown on here, and I finished just yesterday. I haven't blocked them yet, and I do have to add buttons to one thing, but other than that, they're all done. These are, so I'm expecting to have a little nephew, a baby nephew in my life in September, October. So I've been trying to think of different items to knit this baby and to gift to the mom and dad beforehand, and so I wanted to do the Anker jacket by Petite Knit. Here it is. Oh my gosh, you guys, look how adorable this is. So I just have to add in 4 buttons and then and block it, and then it's done. I'm obsessed with this thing. I've just been staring at it because it's so cute. I did this size 0 to 3 months. This is an 100% merino wool. Let me grab the tape. I do have it. So I have a whole skein left over. I used just about a full skein for this cardigan. And this is some hand-dyed yarn from LA. It's Lanera's Alma DK in the colorway Honey Pie. So this is 100% non-superwash, 4-ply DK weight merino. And look how beautiful that colorway is. So this is Honey Pie, and again, this is the dyer. So this was a really quick knit, as you can imagine. I've been wanting to do some of the Anker patterns for myself. This is my first time doing it, and it was so easy, this cardigan, with the yoke here and the sections of the 4 sections of ribbing. It was just so easy and enjoyable. I know this is a 0 to 3 months, so like literally the smallest size that you could knit, but it did fly by. And it was just so enjoyable. So I'm really looking forward to making myself like the Anker shirt or pullover or whatever, this cardigan at some point. I would love to have it. It was very enjoyable to knit, and I could not be more pleased with how this turned out. I can't wait to see my little baby nephew wearing this, and I will be doing the newborn photos for that baby as well. I do photography on the side, basically just through word of mouth from my Instagram. I have a separate Instagram account, and I just do it through word of mouth and pick up the odd photo shoot when I can. And anyways, I do all of my sister's maternity, family, and baby photos, and I cannot wait to shoot newborn photos in this little jacket. And maybe he won't fit it until he's 1, 2, 3 months old, who knows, but eventually when he can wear this, I will be doing a cute little photo shoot with him. So yeah, just very, very happy with this adorable little thing. Oh my goodness. I could stare at this all day. I just want to make baby knits all the time now. They are so adorable and such quick projects. So that is the Anker jacket by Petite Knit. And of course, I forgot to mention, everything I mentioned today will be linked down below in the description box. It will be linked to either my Ravelry project page or the Ravelry project itself. And my next item here is a little baby hat. How cute is this? So I used a the Sunday yarn, Sadness Garden Sunday, held it double. It's just what I had in my stash. And I added a little stem to this. What I did for this was I used the stitch count for the classic ribbed hat from Purl Soho, which is a free pattern. So I cast it on, I think it was like 84 stitches, and it's an all over ribbed hat, but I just didn't feel like doing all over ribbed. So I just did about an inch and a bit of ribbing for the bottom and then continued in stockinette. Used the same decreases, so there's 6 decreases in there and from the pattern, and then I just added a little stem here to make it look really really cute. And so I'm hoping, I don't know, I'm hoping this is good for a newborn. I mean, it's stretchy. I don't know, I'm my first time making a newborn hat, but God, it's just so cute. And paired with these two things, oh sorry, I cannot hold it up. Just the cutest. He'll be such a well-dressed little baby. I haven't posted these yet. Once I get the buttons on and block it, I plan on doing a cute little post on Instagram of these baby knits, but they were such fun things to make, and this one flew by. Obviously, look how tiny this thing is compared to my head. It was just really fun, so I definitely recommend some baby knits. Even if you need like a palette cleanser, even if you don't have any babies in your life, you could always donate them or just to have them stashed in case some babies pop up in your life and you'll have some gifts ready to go. And I think that's what I'll be doing, is just continue baby knitting for a little bit for my niece and nephew, because I enjoy it so much, and I get so much joy seeing my niece wearing her hand knits that I've made her. It brings me a lot of joy, and she loves them. I hang out with her a lot, and sometimes if I'm getting her dressed in the morning, I'll take her up to her closet, and she's 1.5, and I'll be holding her and kind of let her choose what she wants to wear. And a lot of the time she'll like point and reach for her little like hand knit section, which just makes me so happy. And every time I grab them off the hanger, she'll just grab them and hold them close to her, and she just loves, she might be a knitter in the future, because she just loves squishing her hand knits, and she appreciates yarn at the young age of 1.5. And when I knit beside her, she is obsessed with the yarn. She'll grab a ball of yarn and hold it close to her and give it a big hug, and she'll pretend to knit if I give her like little scrap pieces of yarn while I'm knitting, because she likes to just pull at it. And she'll watch me and she'll just hold the yarn in her hand and do this. And I tell her she's knitting and she'll say, knit, knit, it's enough to make me cry. It's the sweetest thing. And she might very well be drawn to knitting when she's older, and I can't wait for her to reach the age where if she expresses more interest, that I can teach her some knitting and some fun like basic garter stitch scarves, and maybe she can knit herself a couple of those when she's older. Okay, anyways, I could talk about my niece all day, so I'll stop it there. So those are my baby knits. I have one last finished object, which is a sewn item, so I'll share that with you now. Here is my dress. So this is the summer dress by Birgitta Helmerson. It is from a zero waste pattern book. Let me grab it. It's from this book here. So I had some fabric in my closet. I had this lovely brown fabric. I really want to use it. I had just the right amount, although I did not have enough to do the bias binding or bias tape or whatever. And so I actually used the same fabric that I used for my last top from that book, which is actually the exact same construction as the bodice of this dress. So I had a lot left over from that, so I just used that, and I think it was the best fabric in my stash that would match this brown. So here's the back. It's got a nice ruffle skirt. I'm really pleased with this one. I actually did this all in a day. I was just kind of in the mood to sew that day, which was rare and bizarre, so I ran with it. It's got this beautiful little split here, and in the inside it's got a nice finishing. So I am really pleased with this. I think I'm happy with how I made it. I'm pleased with my hems and everything. I think it looks really good. I do wish that this was all the same color, but again, I didn't have enough fabric, so that's okay. I had to modify the sizing, or not modify, but the way the book is, it's with zero waste, is you use like blocks and rectangles and all of that out of your fabric, so there aren't any random like scrap pieces that you have nothing to do with. So it's really clever in that way. However, it does make it difficult sometimes to adjust your sizing. So the smallest size, she does tell you how to adjust your size, but sometimes you can't go below a certain amount because it'll just, it's hard to explain this, and I'm probably not explaining it well, but sometimes like the width of your fabric can mean that it's the length of your entire thing. So if you change the width or the length of it to accommodate for like the bodice, it also affects the length of your dress, for say something like that. So the first top that I made, that's just the bodice of this, I made the extra small version, and I'm like swimming in it. It's quite gapey, and I do like it. It's perfect for hot weather. It is the most like breathable top that I own, which is great, but I just wanted something a little more flattering. And yeah, so anyways, I had to do a lot of adjustments for the size and just kind of hope that it was going to work, and it did. I actually made the dress, I cut down quite a few inches from what's suggested on here, and I tried it on and I was still swimming in it. So then I had to, and the dress was finished and so then I actually ended up taking it in an inch on either side, and I don't think you can tell, it looks quite good, I think. And yeah, it looks good. I wish it were longer, because the way this dress is, it goes about, where is it? At my knee, which I hate. I hate when a dress ends at my knee. I either want it like a few inches above my knee or a few inches past my knee. I just don't like the look of that on my body. So I'm not pleased with the length of it. So I am considering hemming it and making it more of a mini skirt, because I think that'd be adorable. It's kind of like a baby doll dress type thing. But I just wish that it were a bit longer, but because this was pretty much all the fabric I had. So I couldn't really make it much longer. But the thing is, if I hem it, I do get rid of this nice edge here. So that's a shame. I could make another one if I hem it, but I don't know if I'll want to. I'll probably just hem it and have it no split. I don't need a split if it's shorter. It could fly up and just not be that comfortable. But all in all, very, very enjoyable to make. I loved the process. That's why I did it in one afternoon, because I was just so in my flow state with it. It was really, really nice. And yeah, it was my first time doing a gathered skirt, which I love. I would absolutely love to make this again. I wrote down all of the measurements that I used for myself so I don't have to guess next time. And what I want to do is make this with a flowier, drapier fabric because it'll just give it more of a loose vibe. This is a bit structured. It's kind of like, I think it's a linen cotton blend. And I love it. It's just more structured. So I would like to have something that flows a little more and just kind of goes more with my style. But overall, very pleased with this. I love the color. I love the fit, except for the length, which I can easily adjust, and definitely recommend that. One little thing on sewing that I want to touch on is my project that I'm currently working on. Let me see if I can find it. Now this, where is it? So I'm working on a new project, and I had 2 successful projects out of this book, so I thought, let's make another one. And I don't know if it's me or if it's this book, but I am having a terrible time with this next one. So I'm making this one here just with some plain black fabric. It's just a button-up dress. I wanted to make it, I'm making mine longer and more form-fitting. And I have got some really beautiful drapey black fabric right there. That's a linen / rayon blend. And I just found that there could, if anyone else is making this dress, can you please or have made it? It's the fold back collar dress, Birgitta Helmerson. If you've made this or making this dress, can you please let me know if you had a difficult time with these instructions or if it's just me? Because I found that there's like very little instruction. It blows my mind actually, and it very well could be me because I just have those problems sometimes with reading things and I skip over or whatever, but I swear I've read these instructions over and over again and I'm thinking, did she just skip so many important things that I need to know, like about the construction of this dress? So I'm kind of, at this point, I got so frustrated by this book, and I don't mean to bash on this book. It could just be this one pattern again, it could be me. I've loved the other patterns in here before, and I love the way they're constructed with zero cutting of patterns and all that. I love it. I'm just having a tough time with this one. And so I got really frustrated with it that I put it away for a while and I haven't touched it. I've kind of been going over in my head over the last couple of weeks of how I can make it because of what I think is lack of instruction on here. So I think I'm gonna have to rip some things out and kind of alter my plan and kind of just wing it, which is fine. I like doing that, but it will become something different than what's pictured in here for sure, because I'm not achieving that. And it's frustrating because this is like an easier level than the other sewn pieces I did, but it's just not, it's not clicking for me, and it's not, I truly do believe there's a lot of lack of instruction on this particular piece, so we'll see. Oh, I hit my teeth every time I drink. So anyway, I'll keep you up to date on that. There's not much to show right now. I just wanted to see if anyone else is making it and see if you found that there was lack of instruction, and then I can see if I'm the problem. And again, I still highly recommend that book. It's an amazing book. And there's like 20 something patterns in there, and I've really enjoyed a lot of them, and I've read through some of the other patterns and it seems like they're detailed enough to get through. I think it's just the random one I chose, and yeah, I don't know. And it could have been the day I was working on it where it's just like, why did you even try? Like maybe I wasn't feeling well and I can't read properly. I don't know. Okay. Back to knitwear. Let's go to WIPS. Let's do the Felix cardigan by Amy Christoffers. This is the one that I'm making for my friend. I'm using Drops Sky, which is a mix of baby alpaca and merino wool. And this is, what color is this? Color 8. And I haven't done too much on this, but I'm just, there we go. You can see the eyelets there. I'm just finishing up the increases through the eyelets and it's coming along. It's a beautiful fabric. It's so soft. Look at that lovely detail of the increases. So I think I'm going to do one more round of this V increasing here. One more V. And then I just have to work back and forth for a little bit until I reach some length in the yoke, and then I can separate for sleeve and body. And then I'm just, you know, back and forth knitting for a while. So it's been really enjoyable and fun. I'm basically just working on this, picking away a couple rows every few days. I wanted to make the baby knits priority since the baby is going to be here in September or October. And this has no deadline, it's just whenever I'm done I can gift it. And also I had to finish my test knit before diving into this cardigan. So now that the baby knits were finished as of yesterday and the test knit's done, I can spend a lot more time on this one. So not a whole lot to share, I just wanted to show my little bit of progress that I had since last time. And hopefully over the next couple of weeks there will be a whole lot more progress to show on that. I am going to be making, I just cast it on last night, there's literally like 3 rows and not worth showing on here at all, but I do have the swatch for it. So I am going to be making my niece a, what is it called? The Soufflé Mini by Penrose. And I'm not doing the ruffle on it, I'm doing a striped version without the ruffle because I just had a lot of leftover yarns that I've used in previous projects and didn't really know what to do with. So I thought it'd be great to make a striped souffle for my little niece, and this is my swatch. So this was, let's see here. I'll share all of once I actually get going on the project, I'll share with you what the yarn colors are. Actually, I can probably tell you, but anyway, this stripe here I used for my Colette tee. This one was a Sophie shawl and this one was a Sophie scarf. And this main color is just something I had in my stash that I haven't used yet, and it's a cotton merino blend, I believe, and it is from Anker Bay. Yeah, I believe it's Anker Bay, and it's just a beige color. This was Sanis Garn Duo. This was Serdar, Snuggly DK, and Tawny. This was a We Are Knitters alpaca. So I just wanted to go these nice soft colors. I'm not sure how I'm going to space out the striping yet. I just kind of wanted to see what the colors looked like all together, and I'm really pleased with them. I might do like 2 colors of striping of the same color together and have like 1 or 2 rows of the beige in between, and then have a larger chunk of the cream and then do 2 colors of the next color, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so lovely swatch. Just cast it on last night again, so I don't have too much to show, but keep you updated on that. My next work in progress is a really exciting one. Oh my gosh, I forgot to share because I don't have them here with me, but I have another finished item. Before I dive into these socks that I'm going to show, I finished just a plain pair of vanilla socks for my mom for her birthday. I'll put the pictures up here. This is using Tiny Human Knits yarn, and it was a self-striping, So yeah, it was just plain vanilla self-striping shorty ankle socks. My mom loved them. They fit perfectly. We have the same size feet, so it makes it so convenient to make socks for her. Those were a blast to knit. It was my first time using self-striping yarn and I loved it so much. It makes it fly by. You're so excited to get to the next color. Okay, I'm glad I didn't forget that. I almost did. Okay, so these are a pair of socks that I casted on just the other day, and this is, I'm not using a pattern for it. I wanted to do Gingham, I always think of Gangnam Style. Anyway, Gingham pattern socks based off of or inspired by the summer picnic socks by This Handmade Life. She uses 3 colors and I just want to use 2. So I cast it on. This is just using leftover yarn from other sock projects. And this nice copper is Nutmeg by Lichen and Lace, and this greigey color is Irish Linen by Ancient Arts yarn. So I did the 64 stitch cast on. I did about 8 rows of a 2x2 rib for the cuff. I dived in right away and just did a really fun little gingham color work. I just did 3 strips, I guess, of the gingham pattern before going to the heel. Just did a slip stitch heel, and now I'm continuing. I'm doing my decreases now along the foot, and the bottom is all just vertical striping. So it's kind of where I'm at, it's hard to show. Let me do this. There we go. There's the foot, and you can see the striping there of what will be the bottom. This is my first colorwork sock, and it's one that I'm not worried about deadline or anything. It's just kind of what I pick up when I'm in between things or need a break from a different project. But I am like enjoying this so much. It's nice not looking at a pattern and just kind of being able to pick up and go. And I like the contrast of these stripes here for the bottom. And I love the fabric. It's going to be such a warm sock, and I think I'm going to keep this one for myself just because it's my first colorwork sock and kind of just coming from my brain. So I feel like I need to keep this one for myself. And I love, love, love the colors. I am a bit worried about fitting this over my heel. I have been trying it on and it fits, but it's tight. Like I really have to stretch this out. I'm trying to make the floats very loose, but it's like, it's tough. And I don't know, maybe blocking will help it. I'm not too sure because this is my first experiment with colorwork socks. Maybe let me know if you're well versed in this, if blocking does help with the stretch of colorwork. The problem with my feet is they're very narrow, but I have an extremely high arch where like when I'm standing on my foot, it's like this, like I'm on the ground, it's like my foot's like this, and you can actually see like a bunch of light coming through because my arch is that high. So that makes the top of my foot, like say this is my foot and like toes and heel. This is my arch. My foot goes like that, right? Because the arch is so high. So I have this struggle with shoes too and boots that the arch is so high that I need more height, I guess, in shoes and in socks. It's hard to get over my heel and arch part because it's so high. I hope that makes sense, but it's just something I was concerned about going into it, and I'm still concerned about it. We'll see. I'm trying to stretch it as I go, but it's quite a struggle to get over that. Like, you know, when you're just getting over the heel, and it's like you're getting it over the heel and your highest part of your foot at the same time, the arch. And that's when it's like, is this gonna make it? Whatever, this isn't that important. Anyways, just please let me know if you do a lot of colorwork socks, if blocking does stretch it out a lot and help it with the floats. I don't know. But yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm excited about it. I'm proud of it. I think it looks really cute. I can't wait to wear these this fall. They'll be nice and warm. And I would have liked to do the cuff longer because they are going to be more of a fall sock, but I am working with leftover yarn, so I had to be mindful of that. So I just did a shorter cuff to be careful. I would hate to run out of yarn on these. And I do have more of this yarn than I do of this yarn, so I decided to do the heel and toe in this to save up on that nutmeg colorway I have going on. Oh my goodness, is that all I have? I think that's all. I thought it was going to be longer than that. I think that's all I have to share, knit-wise, and yeah. Of course I have other WIPs going on, but I haven't touched them too much or enough to show any progress, so I'm not going to. What else? Oh yes. So after I'm done talking here, I have a fun little flower farm tour that I did the other day. I just went through some of the hoop houses and the drawing room and kind of went through some of the flower varieties that my mom grows, and that I use a lot of these flowers to dye with. So I will be inserting that all after the talking portion of this video, so if you're interested, definitely check that out. I would like to do an episode in the hoop house one day. I don't know if that will happen. It does get really hot in there, and it could get a little loud also because it's quite windy a lot of the time here. So I don't know, we'll see, but at the very least I wanted to do a little tour because I know some of you were interested in that. So at the very least we have the tour at the end of this episode. And yeah, lately I've just, like I said, I want to do more of these videos more often, and that is my goal. Sometimes with my chronic pain, it makes it difficult to do that, but I'm going to be trying to make it more of a scheduled, routined occurrence. So that's kind of my goal. We'll see what happens. And yeah, I appreciate all of you coming in and watching these, and I love reading all of your comments. And you know, the comments and the liking of the video and subscribing, it goes such a long way. It helps me out so much, so I really appreciate all of you that do that, and even just all the people that watch. So if you do like this video, please consider liking, subscribing, or commenting. It goes a long way. Also, it is Flock Fiber Festival this weekend. I know a lot of knitters are out there, my aunt included. I'm so jealous. So my aunt, if you're watching, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I actually got to see her a few weeks back. She came and visited, and I haven't seen her in a long time. She is a very, very talented knitter, and so we got to talk a little bit about knitting, which was so much fun because no one else in my family knits, and we definitely had a lot more to talk about. And hopefully in the future I can come visit her and we can talk more about knitting. But yeah, anyone else who's at Flock Fiber, I hope you're having a wonderful time. I think it's safe to say that all of us other knitters that aren't there are feeling quite jealous right now and wishing we could be there. I think that's it, you guys. Take care. Thank you so much for watching, especially if you've made it this far to the end. I appreciate it so much, and happy knitting, happy making, happy everything, and I'll see you all next time. Bye. Okay, we are in one of the hoop houses. Got some pretty chandeliers in here. And this one here, I'll take you on a little tour. We've got all of these beautiful zinnias here. Now, the purpose of my mom's flower farm is to grow them all from seed, and then she picks them at their prime and dries them all and sells them in dried bouquets, dried flower bars. We press them as well sometimes. So we've got just rows and rows of these zinnias. These beautiful ones here, I forget what they're called, but they've got this lime on the tips. We've got these deep reds here. Look how big this one is. My hand under it. And these ones are some of my favorites. Another like orange sherbety color with some lime. Little petals in the middle. And you might hear some flapping. There's a bird in here struggling to get out. So I might have to get that one later. And here we've got some beautiful like purpley, magenta, fuchsia zinnias. Here we've got these globe amaranth. They dry really, really well. They basically look the exact same dried. So we just got a ton of purple ones, and then we've got a little bit more deeper purple here. And some really pretty delicate white ones, which I absolutely love. And again, those are just perfect for dried arrangements. Here we've got really interesting flower, which is celosia, and they remind me of coral. So if you see it down here, oops, sorry, I'm blocking it with my finger. This looks like something you would see underwater in the ocean. I just think it's so amazing. And what's wonderful about celosia is that they dry exactly how they look here. So another great addition to the dried bouquets that we have. Oh, and look at this big one here. How cool is that celosia? And little plumes of it as well. But it is just such an interesting, different looking flower. We've got more celosia here in this golden buttery yellow. And some bright, vibrant orange celosia. And then little orangey pink ones just starting here. We'll go to the other side. As you can see, we've got more and more of these zinnias. Oh, that bird finally got out. These are just like pom-poms. I love them. This is a really beautiful color too. It's like buttery yellow with a soft peachy orange. And this one here, also love. It's like a dusty peach. And just more of these big old zinnias. And look at these pinks. Look at this one here. Just like a full-on pom-pom. I love that. Some of them are just so vibrant. And look at this. So look at this little bud here. It's so beautiful. So I'll step back now and try and get another view of this hoop house. So this is one of the hoop houses. I'll see if the other hoop house has some flowers in it that we can look at, and I'll take you over there. Okay, I'm in the next hoop house. So this has about half the amount of flowers because a lot of them have been picked and are drying right now. And then the second round of plants are growing. So we have a lot less mature plants in here, but I will show you the mature ones and we'll skip over the ones that are just starting to grow. So here we've got some snapdragons. Look how beautiful that pale pink and white is together. And we've also got this pink here. Snapdragons, I think, are one of my favorite flowers in the world. I love the corally peach snapdragons. Oh, and here we have more of that celosia. Here's a nice little bee. So here's our magenta celosia. Here's a lot of cool coral-like ones. This one looks like a brain. But these colors are absolutely amazing, I think. Again, they dry just as they look. They do not lose their color. They are just a really unique, amazing flower, I think. And look at this one. Look how bright. Here we go. Is that working? Oh, there we go. Look how bright that pink is. And then the plumes of celosia down here in that magenta. And more of the orange, which I think is, oh, we've got a lot of orange coming up. The orange celosia is my favorite. Look at these little balls of yellow. They're so soft and fuzzy. Oh, and look at all these orange ones. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's so cool to have these in dried arrangements just because they have so much vibrancy to them. And to have that like pop of color in a dried bouquet, especially in winter time, is just really nice to have. Okay, here we're on to our straw flowers. Now you can hear them, hopefully. If you haven't touched a straw flower before, it's like little pieces of paper. And they actually dry like this as well. They look the exact same dried. So another great addition for dried bouquets. Look how pretty they are. We've also got some orange ones, which are my favorite of the straw flower. Ooh, look at this one. So pretty. The other day we actually made some dried boutonnieres for an upcoming wedding, and we used some straw flowers in them, and they held up really, really nice. Oh, here's another beauty. Look at the colors in that. Yeah, so straw flowers are just really, really interesting. So that's about all that's in this hoop house to show right now. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. I'll see if there's any outside that we can look at. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed looking at all the flowers. And I'll try and show more about the flower farm if that's something that interests you all. All right, I'm in the outside area. We've got a bunch going on here. It's a bit hard to walk through the aisles in this one, but as you can see, we've got Some snapdragons here. Just past them, you can see those little plumes. We've got the sweetest little bunny tails. And right there, in the back, the purple there, we've got amaranth. We've got some more zinnias, I think. What else do we have? We've got some more straw flowers back there. I'm not really sure what else there is, but you can see it's just really lovely, delicate flowers. And then just outside of this gated area, right there, we've got a little patch of sunflowers. And I'm doing a photo shoot here today, a maternity shoot. And I'm gonna definitely be utilizing these flowers. Maybe do some in front of the sunflowers. I think doing one in the full hoop house would be really beautiful too. Here is the drying room. Got all those dried snapdragons. Our straw flowers, more snaps. More snapdragons. Our zinnias over here. And so these are where they all go after being cut from the garden.